Okay, so since it's a new year, we're going to take a look back and celebrate our beers of the year for 2022. Last year on our show, we actually had 200, just over 200 beers between the four of us.
Wow.
Not at one time, during 1 week, but during the full podcast year. So we have a lot to choose from here. And now we're going to come up with our top 3 of 2022. Angelo, I'm going to have you go first and announce yours.
All right. So this was a very interesting year for me from a craft beer standpoint. So obviously my palate has expanded so much thanks to you fine gentlemen here and your encouragement to try new things. And I really discovered my affinity for the hazy IPA. So no surprise at all, top 3 of my beers from 2022 were hazy IPAs. And there were a lot that didn't make this list that were hazies as well. So I wanted to give a couple honorable mentions. I had a Lounging Iguanas Pina Colada style hazy IPA that I really enjoyed. And I tried a beer that Kevin also had on Pints and Packs, which was the lemon shandy from that was brewed with the hot dog on a stick lemonade, which was really good. So, but my top 3 beers of the year, I'm going to start with number 3 from Love Lady Brewing Company in Henderson, Nevada, the Gas Station Sunset Blood Orange Hazy Double IPA. So as I was preparing my notes for today's show, this beer is no longer being produced by the brewery. So RIP to the Gas Station Sunset. This one was 7.3% ABV. The blood orange flavor was very prevalent within this beer, which was probably my favorite part of it. And then number 2 was a collaboration between Brewery Omegang and Thin Man Brewery, the Neon Boodles Tropical Raspberry Hazy IPA. This one is 6.8% ABV with 45 IBU. This isn't didn't drink or feel like a traditional hazy IPA. This one wasn't as hazy. Kind of felt a little bit more like a Pilsner or a lager as opposed to a hazy IPA. However, the hints of raspberry were very strong in the beer, which I really enjoyed as well. And to round out my top 3 beers of the year, my number 1 beer of the year, we're going to go back to our live recording at Radiant Beer Company, Kevin's first home, where I had the Remind Me to Forget Hazy Double IPA. And boys, I got to tell you, there's just something that hits different about craft beer when it's ice cold right into a glass as opposed to from a can or a crowler or a bottle. And this one, I knew it with the very first sip that this was going to be my beer of the year for 2022. This one, 8% ABV. So if you guys go back to the video archive and watch the video from our live recording, my beer glass was significantly smaller than the other 3 gentlemen on this podcast because it was an 8%er. So this hazy double heavy on the stone fruit character, you'd be remiss to remembering to stop by and try this unforgettable release. Dripping with ripe mango, pineapple, and sherbet, hitting hard with big notes of peach skin and stone fruit nectar, brewed with bitterness from Nelson, Citra, and Cashmere hops. So Radiant Beer Company did it again. I think Radiant was also in my top 3 last year with the beer. So appreciate you guys and your partnership and appreciate you guys making some great craft beer. So those are my 3 beers of the year for 2022.
Nice.
You're number 1. I had a few of those Remind Me to Forgets when I was out there with you guys, and it is a heck of a beer. It is a heck of a beer.
Yeah, super good, super hazy. It's a double, so it's so the filtration just makes that haziness just a little bit thicker. So loved it. Gifted this to a coworker as well for their birthday, and they enjoyed this one as well. So.
Oh, good. That's amazing. Great choices there. All right, Cowboy Jack, you're up.
So, starting at the bottom, this beer Saves Water Pale Ale by the Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. And I've been to Wilderness a few times. Their food is outstanding. The atmosphere is outstanding. Just another great Arizona brewery. And the cool thing about this beer Saves Water, not only is it a great tasting, wonderful pale ale, They actually, buying that beer, they put water back into our ecosystem, which we're under a severe drought right now. So Arizona Wilderness, they put out a great beer and they do great things in the community. Now, number 2, made by Toppling Goliath, the Radiant Haze IPA. The minute I tasted this beer, I found my palate for craft beers. This beer, which, rest in peace, Radiant Haze, they're no longer making thanks to a lawsuit, but we won't go into that. But I got to, man.
Excuse me, a cease and desist, sir.
Once lawyers are involved. Yeah, once lawyers are involved. But no, I mean, this is just the quintessential great, juicy IPA that made me fall in love with craft beers. I mean, I wrote songs about this beer. I'm wearing the t-shirt. I mean, I'm a huge fan. And I thought I would never, ever, ever be able to top that beer until I cracked open the Early Grande by Wren House Brewing Company, which is another Arizona brewery. This juicy, hazy, just beautiful concoction of IPA. I never thought Radiant Haze would be outdone, and Wren House came out swinging and put it to bed. There's no question. The Early Grande, if you like IPAs, if you like hazies, if you like craft beer, check out the Early Grande and you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, some great ones there. And so you have an Iowa beer sandwiched in between 2 Arizona breweries. So some great stuff there. And Wren House is amazing. And every time that I've gone to Arizona and gone there, it's almost like in a little house. I think it's off like 7th Street or 7th Avenue.
It's actually, I think it's right off Central, and what they did, they bought a house. It's a bungalow constructed in 1938, I believe, and they converted this house to their brewery. They brew in the garage, and the house portion, it's a small space, but that's their tap room. You go in there, it's a cool location. I mean, that area is beautiful. Trees downtown. It's a beautiful location, and man, it's just a cool experience to go there. And you can't go wrong with a cool experience when they make great beers like Wren House does.
Awesome. Great stuff.
And hey, man, Arizona's nipping at the heels of California. We're coming in hot with our beers and our breweries.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's great to hear. Kevin, you're up.
Get out of here, because look, my top 3 are all California breweries. All right, so you just I'll give you one of these. So I will give an honorable mention though to Toppling Goliath, because before I went through my beers, there was a beer called 18 Hours to Brooklyn made by Toppling Goliath and other half out of Brooklyn, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this has got to be on my list. And I went through the list and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. I'm like, okay, I gotta refit it. I'm like, that just barely missed out. And I'll tell you how much I like number 3. Number 3 is called Intent to Swing by Topa Topa Brewery out of Ventura. Michael, do you remember what that can looked like?
Yeah, it had a baseball.
It looked like a baseball can.
Yeah,
and what it's made after is one of my least favorite moments in baseball history. But the beer is so good that it still made my number 3 this year. It actually Topa Topa memorializes the fist pump heard around the world. That'd be the 1988, and I'm getting mad just even thinking about it. The Kirk Gibson throwing the pump when he hit that home run off of Dennis Eckersley in the 1988 World Series. You're going to see National Treasure Tommy Lasorda going crazy for it. Big moment. The Dodgers ended up winning the World Series that year. Blah, 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 blah. But regardless, it's an awesome IPA, and I don't even know if they even make it anymore. I just happened to stumble upon it. And it's an 8.1 double, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this beer is so good. And, obviously you're going to see I do have some baseball tying into my top 3 here. And number 2, my number 1 brewery, Michael's number 1 brewery, the mega powers, if you will, for us, came together, shook their hands, made this beer. Happens all the time, which is an awesome IPA that came out at Radiant, I believe in October. I believe that's unfortunately after we filmed our broadcast. This is a great solid IPA coming at 7.2, and and it was a dance party for your mind and your mouth. And while this collab may not be one that actually happens all the time, it's one we certainly enjoyed making with Citra, Nelson Sauvin, and HBC 630 hops, and Present Company, which is the name of the other beer that they made that got released in LA. So definitely want to give a shout out for that. Also, we got like the disco ball that was on there.
Yes, that's right.
And number one on my list, I don't know if I need to go into it again because Michael had it last week. I had it 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised it's on Michael's list. This is the Crocs Ale that was made as a surprise birthday gift for Rob Croxall's 50th birthday. He's the head brewer and owner of El Segundo Brewing. So he played minor league baseball one year, and they got his card as the cover for the beer and made it a 9.14% IPA because his ERA is 9.14. Brilliant.
We need to get him on the show. I think we need to get him on the show.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
You hear that? If you're watching out there, Rob, you have your people call my people.
We're not going to reach out to you first. You have to reach out to us first.
Well, I feel like I'm the bigger celebrity here. You know what I mean? Like,
did you make a beer, Stone Cold Steve Austin?
What? No, I didn't.
Angelo, thank you.
Well done.
Even better time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so here are my beers of the year. I'm going to start with the Metaplex IPA from Unsung Brewing. This is actually Kevin. When he's not going to Radiant, he's going to Unsung. Actually, if you take a right, you go to Radiant. If you take a left, you go to Unsung from Kevin's house.
No, the other way around. It's a right. Depending on which way you're heading, though.
Gotcha.
Regardless, one is a little bit west of me, and the other one is further east of me. But they're like a mile.
Unsung is fantastic. I remember when we went there probably around summertime, and something it might have been
like a month ago.
a month ago. But I'm saying to get these beers, we got the Metaplex, and we got another one that was like a New Zealand hopped beer that was fantastic. But the Metaplex, amazing. Definitely check out Unsung Brewing. The Crocs Ale, just like Kevin just talked about, that is my number 2 baseball themed beer. Had to put a baseball themed beer in there. And then my number 1 is actually, and it's the only triple IPA on this list, the 1-2 Skip a Few 99 100 triple IPA from Radiant Beer Company. Radiant was so good to us this year, and we got, thanks to Kevin, we got to definitely be influenced. They influenced the judges big time. with their great beers. Also, I mean, I was remiss because in that area is also like Green Cheek, Noble, which used to be a big favorite of ours.
Hey, Monkish. Yeah,
Monkish. Oh my gosh! And then we had what was the Fight Club one that was fantastic. But I didn't have it on the show though. I think you had it on the show.
Oh, the Water Balloon Fight Club.
Water Balloon Fight Club is really what it was called. Yeah, so Monkish is great.
Real quick, and I'll tell you, this is actually the 100th beer that Radiant made. And I don't know where this video is. I think it's on the Instagram. There's a video of Cowboy Jack chugging that beer.
Oh, that's right.
And maybe we need to find that and put it on the YouTube.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Jack, Jack, you actually remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Good.
Why do you think I backed off on drinking so much beer, dude?
I saw them sent this to me, and this is like a 10.3% or something like that. And Jack's like, there's a video of Jack chugging it, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know why I watch this.
Well, yeah, you sent 2 of them to me, and I chugged the first one on video, I believe, and I was like, oh yeah, no, this is one that we have to sip. Yeah. Yeah. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
The kids say that the triple IPAs are not crushable.
They're not.
They're not. They're definitely not crushable. It is definitely one to savor and take your time with. This, the 1-2 Skip a Few is she's a mean mistress.
Yes.
My kind of interest.
But all great beers. We look forward to a great 2023. Being more adventurous. I'm actually going to go outside of my comfort level and try to find some other ones. But yeah, this has been awesome. Great list from everyone. Thank you so much for participating this year. Looking forward to a great 2023 of beer as well.
Absolutely.
Cheers.